Brought to you by Result. This is the middle third. How are you, mate?
Well, mate, can we talk cricket, please?
Oh, mate, you okay? You all right? You're
No,
okay?
no, mate.
Yeah,
It was
cuddle.
actually there was some good footy on the weekend, mate. There was some interesting games, more injuries, a couple of bizarre bunker calls, and
Can you work that out?
my team lost again, and your team lost, and the Titans lost, and the Dolphins won.
Dolphins won, so hey, go fins up. Dead set, fins up. Mate, you've got to love all this fun and games, mate. You've got to love all the fun and games. It's the NRL. It is the sport that continually keeps on giving. But, mate, before we get to talk about round 24 of the NRL and all the fun and games that come with it, mate, tell me what caught your eye after another fantastic weekend of football.
Oh, mate, I reckon I was thinking of this before. It's been such a bizarre. I look back at the year. I was thinking this time last year I was
You were crowing, mate. You were crowing.
No, I was actually quite.
You were planning the tattoo. You'd sized it up. Everything was there.
It's a real reality check actually. Just watching your team sort of go from the penthouse to the shithouse in the space of months. Well, more than a month now, but and how far they've fallen. I sat back and watched some of the highlights of the back end of last year and the excitement and now it's so different. So different.
So different. So you got a highlight for me now that you gave me the big summary there of your disappointment in life right now? Something has got to be. You got to like something about the weekend.
What did I like? Wait, what did I like about the weekend? That's the. You know what? I love seeing the Panthers lose. That was my obscene highlight.
All right,
Joe
I'll
the
take
Roosters,
that.
and I tipped them.
Look, I love the NRLQ final. Good to see the Cowboys come up with a win.
Did you watch the game?
No, I did not watch the game. I was every intention of it. Then I tried to go to the link and it wouldn't let me. So I had to watch the bloody site for the QRL update bit by bit. And she was rather nerve-wracking right there at the end. Saw the highlights. Looks like the boys played really well. So well done to the young cows. Getting the chocolates in the first ever NRLQ grand final. So bloody awesome. Very excited about that. But okay, now let's move on. Plenty has happened. We've got injuries everywhere. I don't think I can keep up.
What?
Injuries everywhere. Then on top of all that, we've got a retirement from one of the Graham's greats, and you've got to call him a great because he'll probably finish up there or thereabouts on 342 games. That's Big Papa. So he's announced this retirement. This will be his last. There was some talk that maybe one more year, but obviously not. We've got Billy Slater. Announces they're not going to coach the Queensland Origin team. Now, I don't know if the Queensland QRL had a heads up on this, but it certainly surprised everybody around that. And of course, while we're on the Origin, we've got start of Origin is going to New Zealand in 2027. Get it right. Oh, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
One of the stupidest things I've ever heard.
It's cash grab, mate. It's purely for cash grab. Again, the people that support the game from an Origin perspective, and let's face it, because they're the ones that for years and years and years put up their hard-earned, not the fly-by-nighters that come from Melbourne. And by the way, I'm against the going to Melbourne as well. I'm against the going to Adelaide. I'm against the going to Perth. It should be paid in Queensland and New South Wales because that's where it goes. Nothing more than a cash grab. That's all it is. And you're asking fans.
You can't say it's expanding the game. Sorry.
That's not. No. Of course it's not. Because they already play it over there. And they're playing it on the North Island. They're not playing on the South Island, which is the rugby stronghold. They're playing in the North. They're converted. Don't you get more out? It makes zero sense to me, and you'll never ever convince me that it's better for the game to play State of Origin in New Zealand. Seriously. It's between two states, Queensland and New South Wales. That's where the game should be played. In my opinion, I would love to see it go back to the old days where it rotated between each sort of get two home games. As I say, the interest would be exactly the same. It wouldn't change anything. But instead, they've taken the cash grab, and the fans that have supported it now they're already being asked to go to Vegas to support your team, so you go all the way over there, and now they're asking Origin, now you've got to go to New Zealand. Like, seriously, they've jammed prices up of Origin in the last 5 years, so they're milking the golden goose for everything it's got.
What? They still get a charge, $5 for tickets like they do for the New Zealand the Wars?
No, mate, no, $10. She's $10, mate. $10. So, look, as I say, been against it from the start. You'll never convince me that it's a good thing. Oh, rugby league can do what it likes in New Zealand. I've got no issues with that. I just do not believe State of Origin should travel. I think it's it's a domestic product, and that's exactly where it should go. And I think it's only a matter of time before they'll want to play Origin at some point back over in the US again. It is only dead set a matter of time before that happens. Josh Papali'i, as we spoke about, has announced his retirement at the end of the season. Should finish on about 342 games, God willing. No injuries that perform. They're going to rename, obviously, Canberra Stadium down there, a Big Papa's house or something, I think they're going to call it. So, befitting of he's been a great warhorse, as I say. There's not a prop forward that's played more games than he has. He's certainly been absolutely fantastic, and to be fair, he's played it in the right spirit the entire time. So, really fantastic to see. Great. Played for Queensland. He's played for Australia. I think he's only got one thing which unfortunately is missing from his resume, which is a real shame, which is obviously that elusive premiership that unfortunately some players deserve it, but never quite get there, do they?
Mate, he'd be one of the best without a premiership.
I know, absolutely great career. Absolutely great career. And injuries. We can't let this go without speaking a little bit about injuries. Now, we'll talk more about this when teams are in and out, but news breaks today that Adam Dewey's season is over. After hurting it midway through the year, they tried to rehab it. It's hurt it again. He's now in for a full shoulder reconstruction. His year is now over, which might be a shame for Adam because he probably was having his best season till the injury. He's now out. We've got Luke Metcalf does a hamstring. He's now out. Again, look, does this have ramifications for St George who have signed Metcalf?
Oh, it depends if he comes back and does a bad job on it. If he comes back and redoes it like badly, that means he'd miss. If he was to come back in say 3 or 4 weeks, what's that? Mid-September, gets back and they get to the deep in the semis and he does it badly in September. So, it means he'd missed the first first month, 6 weeks of preseason.
Yeah, could do. Yeah, it could do. And that, look, for a side like the Dragons are going to be rebuilding, pre-season is going to be key. They're going to have a virtually entire new spine running out. The Dragons will for next year. So that's going to be key. Look, I think there is huge concerns because Metcalf has still only played 60-odd games, I think it is, in his entire career. And to sign him to a huge deal, to sign a player that cannot he cannot stay on the park, and that's through lots of injuries, broken leg, he's had a couple of knees, he's had multiple hamstring problems. I'd be nervous if I'm St George. I've shot a lot of money for this bloke.
How many career games do you reckon he'll play?
Oh, if it keeps going the direction it's going, he might double that again. That might be all he gets. 150 maybe.
I reckon 150 with 150. Maybe 160, 170 with luck, but someone who relies such on his speed, mate, he's going to start slowing down.
Well, they've got to start thinking about. Well, this is the second or third player if you want to include the young bloke from South, the two kickers from Souths that have hurt themselves kicking for goal. So you got to think that at the moment kicking for goal is going to be off the table for him.
Mate, absolutely.
So there's no other way to look at it for them. So anyway, so Luke Metcalf is in. So the injuries just keep on coming, and in the strangest ways possible. Look, let's talk more about the Slater in the soapbox. We'll talk more about Billy Slater and the Queensland Origin side. But well done to Billy. I think he's done. Was it 4 series or 5 series?
5 series for 3 and 2.
3 and 2, so it's a pretty good. Yeah, look, it's certainly a pretty good record that he's got. I think that last
should have been
series stung a bit.
4-1. To be fair,
Should have been. It should have been, but it wasn't. At the end of the day, it wasn't. So, and that's unfortunate that they had to defend a bit better, Queensland, in that first game, and they managed to get themselves over the line. So, but there is plenty of talk with injuries, with players coming out, with players missing. It is still all floating around there with the NRL. Well, mate, let's go have a drink. We'll come back and we're going to recap all the action around 24 of the NRL because plenty happened. This is Middle Third. We're back right after this. This is Middle Third, brought to you by Riverside. It's the wash-up, all the action of round 24 of the NRL. Oh, and look, and what a round it was. She all kicked off with what some people are saying was the match of the year. I don't go anywhere near that far. But anyway, it was the Panthers and the Roosters down there at Combank. In the end, the Roosters got the job done, 12 points to 6. It was a good game. It was tight. Really wasn't much in it.
Good tough game. Really tough. The old boy Cherry Evans did his job. Both teams tried variations. They both had their catches. Panthers were trying to bring Milky a little bit more infield, so he wasn't necessarily a one-on-one with Marky Mark. Didn't quite come off, but mate, the big telling injury to Yo, I think, was which that's what to me is now drawn the line through the Panthers winning the comp. So
yeah, it's got to make it hard because that link, the way they play their game is Yo is that link man out to Cleary, so that's how they get Cleary a bit wider. And Lindsay, he just isn't the same style of player as that. So I don't know what they do. They have to change their game plan. I know some people are saying, that again it's the positive because I heard Matty Johns talking this afternoon saying, Nathan gets so much out of this next time they play the Roosters. Nathan. End of the day, Nathan got his pants pulled down.
The other 8 times that they've beaten him, he never got anything out of it to take into this game.
Just, I don't know. As I say, well done to the Roosters. I didn't tip them to win. No, you did. It wasn't much in it. Strong game. I want to know how Victor Radley is still going to run around this weekend. I'm still trying to get out. I'm still trying to work that one out. But she's going to be interesting. And certainly now, at the start of the year, they were saying the Panthers, are they even going to lose the game? They're going so well. And since Origin, they have got very, very wonky very fast. And it all really started with that loss to the Titans, I think it was. She's all gone downhill very, very rapidly. So, interesting. Very interesting. Friday night, it was the Sea Eagles and the Dolphins. 22 blot at Brookvale. It's at 4 Pines Park. Fosball, which I'm sick of hearing this term. Fosball's dead. And now Kieran Foran is under all sorts of pressure. And it was 22-0. First time since 1993, I think it is, that they've been kept scoreless at Brookvale. So there are... It doesn't look good for Manly all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, mate. It was good what the Dolphins did. There was a somewhat of an arm wrestle early, and they just gradually just clicked through their gears, and they moved away without really looking that much drama, much strife at all.
Yeah, I agree. But in saying that, they still got a lot of room for improvement. The Dolphins in that they weren't sitting at their best for that particular game. I thought Selwyn Corbo was outstanding.
Not leaking points is certainly, I think, will make Coach Paul happy.
They threw nothing.
Still zero, mate. Still zero gives you...
Oh, absolutely. I agree. 0 is 0, but they threw nothing. And that was probably one of the most disappointing parts. They've got plenty of attack in that side still, with Hopewade, with Kola, Falalo. Plenty of attack sitting in that side. Olakawatu on one of the edges. So
but when you get shit service, mate, you can't get those people the ball. You could have a stable full of Ferraris, and if the steering wheel don't work real good.
Service hasn't changed though, mate, since day when they're going getting points, mate.
Yeah, but we go with Joey Walsh, mate. He's no good. He's too green, way too green.
Ooh, mate, you were rapping him earlier, so you were on the Joey Walsh fan train, and now you're off it again.
No, mate, I said he's got certainly a lot of potential, but week in, week out football, especially behind a forward pack that's depleted and going like an absolute bastard. Like there's lawnmowers out there that have got more sting than that forward pack.
I'm going to disagree there. Not going to disagree there. Mate, let's roll across to Saturday. It's the Sharkies and the Raiders. No, sorry, no, take that back. No, I jumped the gun. We had another game on Friday night. We had another game. Hey? Rabbitohs 22, very impressive over a really disappointing Bulldogs, who did not look like they were going to trouble anybody. How Stephen Crichton is even playing this weekend after making deliberate contact with the referee, that'll do me. That will absolutely do me. And you didn't have to be a rocket scientist to see that, what he was doing. Absolutely terrible decision from the bunker.
Oh,
terrible.
I agree, mate. 100% agree. 100% agree.
And not the first time this year. Obviously, we know that back. I think it might have been round 1 where he signed out one of the St George winger he did, and nothing happened. Not even so much as a sighting. It was absolutely ridiculous. So it is absolutely. He is now an official protected species. There's no other way you can look at it. When he moves deliberately in the path of the referee in the opposite direction to what the player is moving. Like, just absolutely deplorable. But well done to the Bunnies. They look really good. They're going to be a handful for on their day. They could trouble nearly anybody. But where they go with their lack of halves, now I'm not 100% sure where they're going to go with obviously that young bloke who is gone for the year. And he's shown some really good signs as well for the Bunnies. So they're going to be excited because Latrell's maybe back this week, so they're going to get very excited with that. But I'll tell you what, Tallis Duncan, he continues to impress in the centres. So I don't know if I'd be in that much of a hurry to move him out of there just quietly as she goes.
Yeah, depending on how the pack works, mate, he could become a real viable option in the centres. Become a bit Darren Smith-esque.
Yeah. Also like your mate, Simi Simsagi for the Simi, what's his name? For the Panthers, not Panthers, for the Raiders, who was good in the back row. He looks fantastic in the centres.
Oh, mate, especially when he gets when he gets one-on-one with people who are a little bit smaller. It's like
when he's that big, nearly everybody.
Like our lower Titty used to be able to offload from nowhere, and he seems to be able to do that at will.
Yeah. So well done to the Rabbits and Wayne Bennett again. And think you blokes let Wayne Bennett go back in, I don't even know how long ago it was now. Was it 2019?
We didn't let him go, mate. We sacked him.
Yeah, sacked him because he was too old. He's still going. He's going to sign another deal. And he's got another team to, again, another round of semi-finals. So I don't know how he does it, but he dead set keeps on doing it. Sharks and the Raiders down there at Shark Park. This is disappointing. If you're a Sharks fan, you are dead set disappointed now. It's 24-20. The Raiders have gotchas. And throw that in, probably the best 6 all year. Young Braden Trindle. Get me words here. Is out for looks like at least 4 weeks. He's going to go with a dislocated shoulder. So, number 1 for try assists in the comp. So, that's a big hole.
Season done. Line through. Jesse
you're ruling him out.
Gone. Finished.
Ramian's gone. Blakey's back this week. They didn't have him, so he'll stiffen him up a bit more in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, I thought Nico was supposed to be the man. He wasn't the man, but he went off. I thought he was pretty disappointing.
He breaks down, but I'm waiting for one of his calves to go a little bit twang, and then that's it. Sharky's done. So my line is through the Panthers and through the Sharks. Gone.
So they both then can't they cause? They still cause a couple of hiccups, won't they?
True. Put your money on. It's Roosters, Warriors, and my Smokies, the Dolphins.
Okay.
So your Cowboys may make the 8, but I can't see them going any further than that.
I could, but it's unlikely because they keep tossing the shit up that they tossed up. We haven't got to that game, and we're about to get to it right now. Eels 32 beat the Cowboys 30. I am just from the opening kickoff when Brian Kelly ran straight through them. I'm just going, that will do me. We won't win this game. That's what I said. As soon as I saw it happen, they are not on. And they weren't on. I heard Todd Payton get interviewed before the game saying, are you nervous, Todd? Where's the pressure? He's saying, no, there's no pressure. Now we're just excited. Now there's 9 other teams that wanted to be in the position we're in, so we're excited. The boys are ready to embrace it. Well, I tell you what, Todd, they weren't. If you use that term again to me, and I hear that in the press comments from you saying the boys are excited, I'm going to dead set keel over. Because they were flat again. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Drinkwater, I did not know what he was on for the game.
Yeah, Jackson, your shining light Purdue was good in good moments.
Yeah, look, he was better. Scored a fantastic try. He's got good footwork. He certainly tried really hard. But they just found ways to score. Then exactly the same as when they played them, 3 months ago. Exactly the same. Found ways to score and invite them straight back into the game. And then, of course, we've got Mitchell, Winger, Moses.
Oh my God, he hurts my brain. Without a doubt, the all-time biggest pest in the NRL.
It is just terrible. At some stage, and I heard a report from the former referee's boss that said the second that went upstairs, apparently there is no leeway. Well, he said it's contact with the head, so it has to be a penalty. Yet I've heard the bunker actually say the contact with the head was incidental, so it's irrelevant. I've actually said incidental contact and passed it over. That was just a joke. Absolute joke when he dropped the ball and he knocked it on. Didn't get whacked high and then knock it on. He'd already knocked the ball on. It was just terrible. But in the end of the day, the Cowboys didn't deserve the win because they're stupid. Absolutely stupid. But I will say this, they have got the try of the year. So that was the best try they scored, the best try I've seen all year. So at least we get one win out of all that for the Cowboys. Warriors and the Broncos. Look, as bad as the Cows have got it, mate, you blokes. 40, the Broncos 6 at home. Oh, mate, what is going on? Mate. Not trying there, mate. They're dead set not serious in that team.
It's a matter of fact is that they reached Everest, and now, mate, even just getting back to base camp is it's too hard.
They don't care, mate. They're not interested, mate.
I think the combination of things, mate, is everyone says there's things called excuses, and I would say I'm not going to call them excuses. I'm going to call them reasons. I think there's a multitude of reasons, and while it all just became the perfect storm, there's literally from every direction from injuries, which is one thing, to back of house from the TO incidents, to players in particular. For example, the Haas deciding to go to over to back down to Souths, and Karapani carrying on. There's obviously from the preseason to it all, when you went over to England and got belted, you had that camp in Toowoomba that apparently went to crap. And there just seems there's just too many spot fires that have become a raging inferno. And mate, it's a cluster.
Yeah, I'll agree, but I'm also going to say this, as the Broncos have form with this. It's in 2023. They had a fantastic year under Kevy, right? Probably should have got the minor premiership. If Kevy didn't play with his side, the rest players in the last round, I think against the Storm, they win the minor premiership. Find themselves in the grand final, and Adam Reynolds probably has one of his poorest games, and that's why he's brought to the club, and they subsequently lose that game. They come back the next year, and again they miss the finals, and Kevy ends up losing his job because of it all. So there's certainly Brisbane have form with this. They have form with this. So throw that other stuff in. I think it's absolute certainty it was going to happen. And the real issue is going to be next year, because it's going to be a whole new look side next year with lots of changes rolling around. And we all know injuries are one of those things. Injuries happen to every side. Some sides deal with it better than others. Some have more injuries than others.
Yeah, I agree.
But they've still plenty of time to put a pretty damn good side out in the park.
Yeah,
that side's pretty good.
They certainly did. They certainly, I think they lost, which happens to other teams too, but there was a few times the loss of some key players, I think, really hurt them at certain times where they just didn't have cover for, and other players didn't sort of step up. And I think some of the decisions Madge made, just instead of saying owning up and saying, "Yep, coach error, my bad," where you often see a horse trainer come out and say he got a gear change wrong or he got something wrong. It'd be nice to see a coach saying, "Yeah, I pulled the wrong rein there. I got it wrong." But they'll be like, "Oh yeah," and wear it like that. But he made some bad decisions from substitutions, player selections, across the board.
Look, I'm not going to disagree, and that's the reason he's going to start next year under a huge amount of pressure. Because they don't start with the year with some wins, because he still hasn't been re-signed, and the Broncos have been saying we're re-signing him. He's our man moving forward. Yet he still hasn't been re-signed. Well, why not? This season's now done. It's not like he's got to worry about getting him into the finals this year. The deal should be done if it's that bloody important to them. So, anyway, the Knights and the Titans, 36-26. Couple of late tries to the Titans. Made it respectable. Yeah, look, the Knights were pretty good. We thought the Knights were going to win. Titans, they put the key on the rack for the year. I heard Matty John saying that it's the Knights are a certainty to make the top four. I think Matty John should stop smoking it. Seriously.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No, mate, yeah, I don't want to say it, but because I think Holbrook's done really well.
He's done a fantastic job.
But
he's done a fantastic job whether they make the four or not.
That are done. That's another line through them too.
Oh, they're all already done.
That's three
already
gone.
Done.
That's three. But that's got three teams wiped out.
Tigers 22, Dragons 24.
Who cares?
Dragons should have won this in a canner. They should have won it in a canner.
Who
Dragons.
cares?
This was
even with the late withdrawal of Gutho.
Yeah, they look. They look in the last 6 weeks especially. They have looked a much better side. The Dragons. They've been competitive. I think just nearly every game they've played. Had a chance to win probably nearly every game of at least their last 6. So they are certainly looking under Dean Young. They are looking a far better side now than at any point while Shane Flanagan had them. At any point while he had them. So and the Tigers, if there is another coach that should be under more pressure than Benji Marshall, I haven't met him. He should be under bolt pressure, and I do hope that the West Tigers were smart enough to put some performance clauses in his contract. Because to re-sign him all the way to 2030 after, well, they've now regressed. The side has now regressed, and all this fantastic recruiting is all out the window. So I don't know where they go. The Tigers. I do not know where they go for next year.
They're finished. But I reckon they are the wooden spooners for next year, without a doubt.
Well, he's throwing it out there straight away. Mate, your sides, you're putting your marker through sides, you've got the wooden spoon.
Yeah, I got throwing spoons everywhere.
Mate, I'll tell you what, well, one thing's for sure, mate, if they do go poorly again next year and get a bottom 4 position next year, I think the NRL will have to step in. It's got to be bye-bye Tigers, no more team. What's that?
You can't say there's anything but going to be 4. Like, this is the strongest squad they've put together in years.
Oh, they've got a couple of injuries now. Like, Dewey's gone, that Kai Pearce-Paul's gone, and Taylor May's out. So
Coruscant's another year older, another year slower.
They've had a couple of injuries too. And again, some of these sides that are this mid-level team, injuries can be really cruel because they don't have as many the depth that other sides have got. But that now it's gone past depth. What they're throwing up now is terrible, absolutely terrible. And the good news for the Tigers is they've got the Cowboys in 2 weeks, so there's a chance for them to get a bit of form back because the Cowboys are going like crap. So who knows what's going to happen there? All right, mate. That will do us. Let's go and lubricate the tonsils. We're going to come back with the soapbox and we're going to talk a little bit of state of origin and the coaching situation for Queensland and what we think might take the reins. This is the middle third. We're back right after this. 1. This is Middle Third, brought to you by Riverside. We're back. Those armchair experts, mate, we've thrown away the canes, we've dusted off the soapboxes, and we are ready to rock and roll.
We need a new name next year for the soapbox, something else.
Yeah, just armchair experts. What's wrong with that?
The Falvey Fires, the Falvey Opinions, I don't know.
But that's not the Falvey Fires, mate. No.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, good point. Good point.
Let's not lower ourselves to do that. Anyway, mate, let's talk a bit of state of origin. As always, it just continues to roll on origin. Here we are. We're we're 6 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, after the fact, and we're still talking about it, so it does something right, Origin, doesn't it? But with the news breaking during the week, one William Slater has decided to call it a day. Well, after 5 years in charge with the Queensland side. Now, we said before, I don't think the QRL had a heads up on this, but I certainly hope they did. But interesting to see the sort of pickings that we're left with. Some candidates, looking for the right word there, have fallen by the wayside since then, with JT and Cameron Smith, who was endorsed by Wayne Bennett, by the way, to take over the role, have both said no to the role, which probably leaves the race down to 3, don't you think? So we've got Darius Boyd, who is current Queensland Under-19s coach. We've got Matt Ballon, who's Broncos assistant and Origin assistant, and Origin player as well, same as, and Ben Teo, former Dolphins assistant, former Broncos assistant, and current State of Origin Queensland assistant. Is there anybody else, mate? Is that it? Is that the race down to 3?
That is it. I had to think of anyone like journeyman bolters who'd come in, but I reckon it's going to be a fresh blood, because it's going to be a fresh coach versus fresh coach. That's the way I think they're going to go.
All right, so our 3 coaches. So Darius Boyd, currently victorious, 2 years running with the 19s. We've got Matt Ballon, current Broncos coach, and Ben Teo. Mate, out of those, who's going to get the job? Now, there's big raps on Ben Teo. He continues to get raps on Ben Teo. So and Matt Ballon, look, he was a bees, away from the Manly job. So where are we at with all this?
First things first, Aaron Wood should shut his mouth. He really gripes me. Now that Slater stepped down, he still hasn't.
I refuse to listen to that moron. I refuse to listen to him. Both on the agenda setters, because he's an idiot. He is an idiot.
Dead set. How he's talking, how hopefully gets someone with thick skin and things like that. Well, how about the radio station gets someone that's got talent and not just someone who's most known for who's going, what
Dora
the best thing he's done is Air Woods. When he's missed a high 5. But no, I think it's down to Benny Teo and Matt Ballon, I reckon. Both coming from a defensive their backing. I think that's going to be that's where Queensland's going to build from. And I think it'll come from fresh selections. I reckon it'll be a younger side with less old heads in there.
There's no doubt that Billy certainly had his favourites in that side. Yeah. That he didn't let anybody down when they played. No, certainly not in this series. I know in the series, last year, not last year, year before, I should say. He picked a couple of old heads that didn't perform, and I think he got it wrong, especially in that Game 3 game at home last year, 2 years ago, where Maguire was coaching the side. Then I think got a couple of calls wrong there. But me and myself, I think Matt Ballon is the man. Myself, been an assistant now for quite a while, quite a few years, and has got big raps. Been done well at Queensland. Has got good raps. He's the way he played, he was a tough, uncompromising player. I think he could be good. Could be good for Queensland. But yeah, I don't know.
He's certainly one of the hardest hitters ever going around.
He was a good little player, Matty, and it wasn't for one Cameron Smith. He certainly would have played more than one game. I think he played. I think it was just the one game he got.
Literally only the one and won a series.
Yeah, so who cares? Beautiful, right? He's a fog. He's done it, mate. He's done it all. Right? He's done it all, Matty Ballon. So
what's sad is that him and Brenko Lee have both played for Queensland.
Brenko Lee, that's a look, fantastic. Well done, absolutely well done. If you get a chance to roll it out there for Queensland and get yourself a Guernsey, take it, run with it, because there are plenty of players. Ask Brett Horsnell about that and what he thinks about a Queensland jersey. So how much it meant to him to try to get his hands on one, only to Gilly to get off out of his hospital bed and take it all away from him. I think Matt Ballon is the man moving forward. I think Darius Boyd is a long way from the gig myself. I think he's got to get some more coaching mileage under his belt. But again, like it mainly is with the Origin stuff, it's all about the assistants that you bring in and put around you, which is going to be just as important for all that. But yeah, and I think Matt Ballin is the man. Hopefully Ben Teo and Darius Bull will stay involved. But I don't know. That's where I think we're at with Queensland. I think it's just where we. Thanks for all your conversation there, mate.
I reckon it's going to be a younger side. I reckon it's going to be Ben Teo, because knowing that Matt Ballin is probably next in line for an NRL gig, the QRL will probably go along those lines, and I reckon it'll be
Well, he won't get. Look, he's not going to get an NRL gig next year.
Yeah.
So all you do is put the clause in the contract saying if I pick up an NRL gig, I'm out. I'm done. I'm gone. If he's the best man for the job, then you take the best man for the job, don't you? You know. So I don't know. Will there be any stigma left over Ben Teo for walking out on the Broncos? Will that have leave a bad taste in anybody's mouth? Because obviously the facts of that have never really been released.
He went straight in to be the assistant coach because all the players love him. It wasn't a players; it was a him and Madge. That's where I think
we know that. We know that. We certainly worked that out. That wasn't a player issue, but end of the day, it's not being a coach isn't a popularity contest. It's all about getting the best out of the players and making them play at their as close to their top as you can every single week. So win the games that matter. That's what a coach is about. Especially when you get to that level, it's all about performance. So yeah, I don't know. So you reckon Teo and I reckon Ballin will probably both be wrong. They'll go with Boyd, or someone will jump straight out of the clouds and have a crack at the gig. So all right, mate. Okay, well let's jump straight into the 2025 preview. Let's not muck around. Let's not muck around and get straight in it because there's been plenty happening. We've got players coming back. It's very, very exciting. Very exciting. So things kick off Thursday night. And I'm sure when they did the draw, this game looked so exciting. They were so pumped for this game. And unfortunately, not so much now. And it's the Storm and the Panthers. For the Storm, Jack Houth returns. Joe Chan back to the bench. Harry Grant's back. Tyron Wishart moves back to the bench. Trent Talau goes to halfback. Jerome Hayes is still out. And Hayden Watson is back to the reserves. Alec McDonald. It's a bit like I'm yawning. It's been a big night. Alec McDonald returns to the bench. Watson job with Davey Moale.
I had a 4 a.m. start this morning too.
Poor little chicken. You all right? You okay? Need a cuddle? Jesus, have a listen to it, son. And Jack Haddington is out of the 19 for the Panthers. Paul Alamotti is out. Isaac Tungo is in the centres. Jack continues at 5'8". Isaiah Yeo is out and out. Will be wild for a while. Jack Cole. Oh my God, I've got to get my teeth back in. Replaces Jackson Edgar on the bench. Mate, I'm going to have to go the Penrith Panthers on this one.
Agreed?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I still think the battle
for the winning the comps out of the question, I think, but they've still got the cattle to beat just about everyone.
Okay. Let's roll right along. Do you think is the minor premiership still out? Is the Roosters got that sewn up now?
They got it, I think. Yeah.
Well, if they drop one game, because remember the Panthers have got an absolutely fantastic for and against. Fantastic for and against. Friday night, down there at GIO Stadium, it's the Raiders and the Donkeys, you blokes. Simi Sasagi returns to the centres. We won't talk about him. Tamale goes back to the bench. Josh Papali'i will start in his final home game. Adam Mariota moves to the lock and Morgan Smithies is out. Corey Horsburgh returns to the bench for the Raiders after missing last week. And Sebastian Chris, he's really had a bit of fall from grace this year, has been left out for the Broncos. Reece Walsh is done for the year. With Hayes Perham taking over at fullback. Tom Duffy has been axed. Adam Reynolds is out. And Ben Hunt will instead start at halfback. What benefit that does for the team, I've got no idea. Moving forward, with no Adam Reynolds, who probably won't play again this year, and suddenly he jumps young Duffy. Some of the crap that Adam Reynolds and Ben Hunt have dished up, and your mate, Ezra Mam, have dished up this year. Duffy has one average game and he goes. Gah, wake up to yourself, Maguire. Seriously. Mate, I want to go the Raiders on that one.
Raiders by a few. I said if I'd love to see us win, and I'll cheer my guts out as I always do. But barring the only way I saw us beating the Warriors was individual brilliance, and it'll be my same statement against the Raiders. And we're missing some star power now. So the only way it'd happen really, if it's probably Katoni Staggs or Billy Walters really lights it up. Otherwise, I can't see us getting close.
Well, I think the Raiders have been all over the place this year, so
They'll be up for Papa though, mate.
Yeah, you'd think so, but sometimes it goes the other way. I think you can be up too much, so we'll just have to wait and see how that certainly unfolds. Next coming up, again at Suncorp, it's the Dolphins and Parramatta. Connie Lemuelu is out for the Finns. Max Platt starts in the second row. Brian Purner is new man on the bench. For the Eels, DeBellin is back, starting at lock. Saxon Pricks will be named on the bench. Dylan Walker is out with a wrist injury. Tony Mattelli is out. Kelma Tuolangi comes back onto the bench. Oh, the Dolphins by plenty.
Fins up by plenty.
By plenty. Cowboys, go watch that game. I can tell you should have played. Seriously. Absolutely seriously. And I'm looking forward to whinging Mitchell Moses having something that he like he was so confident about thrown back in his face. It's the Knights and the Manly Sea Eagles. Saturday at that at McDonald Jones. Bradman Best returns. And Dane Gagai is out. Saifidi returns from injury, which is a big in. Hopwood back to the bench. Francis Manalula is out with Tyson Frizzell starting back on the edge. For Seagulls, Tommy Travojevic is back. Woohoo! Replacing Joey Walsh. Clayton Failalo moves to 5'8". Tony Large has been overlooked. So whether he actually starts at fullback or 5'8", we'll have to wait and see. Nathan Brown starts up front. Fletcher Baker is out. Benny Travojevic is back. Corey Waddell's on the bench. Caleb Navarro is on the bench. Hugo Hart and Jackson Shrib have been dropped. Look, the way they're Manly are playing, you've got to go the Knights.
I think barring any more catastrophic injuries, I think you take the Knights.
Yeah, I think so. I agree totally. Rabbits and the Wars. So game of the round. I think pretty easy this one from that perspective. Adam Elliott is out with a groin injury. Ewan Aiken starts in the second row. And Liam LeBlanc is on the bench. Latrell Mitchell is jersey 22 and a chance is playing. Who cares? And Tallis Duncan will likely move back to the second row from the centres if that happens. For the Wars, CNK is suspended. Tano Tuapiki comes back. Luke Hanson comes in at 5'8". He was okay earlier in the year. Chanel Harris-Tavita goes back to halfback with Luke Metcalf out injured. Morgan Gannon is the new man on the bench. The fact that obviously they're out a halfback, that could make things very interesting. But I am going to stick with the Wars.
I agree. That forward pack is can bash the side. That forward pack can bash the side enough for the back
submission.
Yeah, and the back can just get the job done.
Yeah, but there won't be. I don't think there'll be much in it. Certainly won't be much in it because obviously they've got their own halfback concerns themselves. The Rabbits. Well, this will be a good game. So I revisit that the round one over in Vegas. It's the Dragons and the Doggies. Daniel Atkinson, who was the fullback last weekend, will wear the number 1 this time around. Max Fergai has been named on the wing. Josh Kerr replaces Blake Lowry on the bench. For the Doggies, Jethro Renkama, season's done. And Ari Tuala moves to the wing. Bronson Cherry back at centre. And Sean O'Sullivan, I don't know what's going on there, joins the bench. Like, seriously, I just still don't understand why he hasn't got more game time this year.
It's hilarious.
Well, I don't know. This is a toughie. For the Doggies, one more loss. Their season is probably cooked. And the Dragons are enjoying the fact that they are upsetting teams everywhere.
I'm going to go for 2 on the trot for the Dragons.
Well, okay, no, I'm probably going to go the Dogs, I think. More to play. Well, not that I'm overly convinced about the Dogs.
They young pack, especially, mate, how about Couchman's Falcon?
Kick right in the head. Oh, wacko, the diddlo.
That Stewart's getting better and better.
Yeah.
He's like the Cashmans are good, but I think that Stewart, I reckon, is a level above them too.
He looks. No, they're going to have a much better side next year. I'm not going to call them make the 8 or anything, but they're certainly, if they continue this trajectory, will be in for a much better year, and their fans can certainly enjoy that. Seabus Super Stadium, it's the Titans and Cronulla. Arama Howe is back. Josh Patson is out. Keeper Boy starts at lock. Chris Randall moves back to the bench. Luke Summerton's on the bench in the place of Sammy Verrills. For the Sharkies, Braden Trindle is out. Puru comes into the halves. Fanua Blake returns from suspension. Kafushi's back to the bench. Stone Street's off the bench. With obviously Fanua Blake coming into the side. I want to tip the Titans, but they were crap last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to go with the Sharkies.
Yeah, Sharkies.
That's a right the ship, but they wouldn't want to drop another game though, the Sharks. They dead set would not want to drop another one. Or they're going to turn themselves into cannon fodder by the time the end of the season rolls around the semi-finals. This could be anything. This could be anything. The Roosters and the West Tigers. Tedesco is back. Ramsey, who's been outstanding deputising, he's back to the bench. Rex Brathwaite drops out of the 19. Got to remember, he was the guy that was tipped to be the big Tedesco successor. I tell you what, I would not be shifting Cody Ramsey anywhere. He looks outstanding. For the Tigers, Taruva has been dropped to the bench. Well, it's about time. He's been crap for 2 months. Adam Dewey's gone for the year. Gerald Skelton comes on the wing. Jock Madden's back at halfback. Alex Twal comes in the lock. Fanu's back on the bench. Tavana and Javen Andrews drop off the bench. Now, why they're even playing Jerome Luai, I've got absolutely no idea. His form is in the toilet. He's not leading the side, and there's no benefit to whatsoever. So start looking the next year, Benji, because this year is done and dusted. And I'm going the Roosters by a cricket score.
Cricket score, and some.
So that record scoreline that they put on the Cowboys, I'm certainly hoping that can be rewritten and go into the West Tigers. That particular game, because they are absolutely deplorable. They were deplorable. All right, there we go, mate. So let's go tipping competition now that we've solved everyone's tipping challenges. Where are we at, mate, with tipping?
Mate, we were. I started out so positive there. I was on a roll. I was like 4 on the trot, and then it all just sort of came crashing down with the Sharkies, then the Broncos, then the Cowboys.
It was just like my Supercoach. Going good last week, and it just
Bobby Rain.
Down.
We finally have a gap. 129, 127. Bobby's kicked clear. I had a chat to him about his philosophy now in the closing stages. Is he's going to be just picking what he thinks everyone else will pick. He's going to be playing it safe.
Going for the favourites, then. That's that's a strategy.
So it's which I guess it's the right way to go now. Is when you got a 2-point lead.
That's exactly right. It is exactly right. I've got to make
Kiwi Glenn is still there in second place on 127, but
as I say, it's only one or two upsets away, and there's still been plenty of those happening. Don't you worry about that now.
But Lizard, is it Lizard number 14? Who is Liz? Who is Lizard? Oh, Elizabeth Moran. She is 7, 9, 123, 5, 8 points behind, 7 points behind. Sorry, 6 points behind, with the Joker still in play.
So a chance. She picks up. She does well with the Joker. It gets very, very interesting.
If she gets better. She gets better than a 6. It becomes real close.
Very close. Yeah, just don't follow what we say, whatever you do.
No, absolutely.
All right, mate. Supercoach. Supercoach is here, mate. Buy, hold,
mate, I'm
sell.
bringing Tedesco back in for Reece Walsh. I've got plenty of money, plenty of trades.
Okay.
I'm basically toast in all comps except one. So I've actually so far in a row I've beaten one son. I've beaten one son. I've just beaten the second son, and now I think I play the old man this week. So, but no, Tedesco's the only play I'm making this week. I think it's this is close to it's close to curtains. I think it's for a few teams. I think this is the major semi-final in the big comp. So I said I'm playing in a smaller comp, but should be fun though. But no, Tedesco for me, mate. What are you bringing in, anyone?
I don't know. I've got no injuries to report this week. I've got a couple of Cowboys players in my side that are going to have to get the coke and sass. So I don't know. I've got a bit of cash there, so I will look to strengthen the squad. Payne Haas has been bitterly disappointing from a points perspective. Harry Grant's there, so do I bring him back in? I've certainly got the cash to do it if I want to do that. So do I do that? I don't know yet. I've got some decisions to make.
Mate, he can't be 100%. He can't be 100% fit.
I don't know why they can't make the finals. I don't know why they're bothering. Why would you risk him? If you're Kevy Walters, you'd be going, give him another week. Give him another week. Like, seriously. Like, they're all up and down. Look, we're all up and down about Reece Walsh and his syndesmosis saying, he's out of contention for the World Cup. No, he's not. Normally it's an 8-week injury. It's a month till the end of the year, and then they've got a month of semi-finals. That's 8 weeks. And that's before they even get together for the World Cup. Not that I think he should be picked anyway, because his form wasn't good enough and didn't warrant it to be picked. So, but now I think it's just made it a fait accompli. So, anyway. All right, mate. Punter's pick. Come on, give it to us. Give it to us. We've been waiting. They've been waiting all week for this. I don't know why, because I don't know.
Mate, I'm going Dolphins 13 plus, Roosters 13 plus, Asako and Mark to score.
And for our $10, how much does that give us?
That's 65.
$65. All right. I actually don't mind. That's one of your better ones. So. Yeah, because mate, you're running out of weeks, mate, to try and do something. Got to tell you what, we are so far behind. We're about to go broke over the years. I think your record is about 3 wins in the last 4 seasons, so you're not going overly well, I have to say. All right, mate, well, that brings us to the end of another fantastic show. We've been enlightening, we've been entertaining, we've been enthusiastic about everything. The 3 E's. That's what we need to be worried about. So it's good night from him.
It's good night from him.
Remember, it's hard to be humble when you come from Queensland.
I'm from Queensland.